gathering together, he'll be there. So if he's there, Tzaddik and Yeshua, that's also Bechina of Eretz Yisrael. There's a midrash that I learned, and I've told it over many times, and I don't get tired of saying it. It's very, very special. Yalkut Ruveni, Rabbeinu Zal speaks many times about the enemies of Klal Yisrael. You know, you have the Jewish people, and you have the other 70 nations. And the 70 nations, Rabbeinu Zal speaks about them many, many times, that they represent all the different Midos Rois. Each nation is outstanding in a particular Midah Roa and everything. Out of all of them, the one that's the worst, uncontested, is Amalek. Reishis Goyim Amalek. Amalek is the worst of all nations, and Amalek represents the worst threat to Klal Yisrael. The one who showed such chutzpah when the Jews came out of Mitzrayim, and they were at such a high, and the whole world had respect for Hashem and Klal Yisrael. Shamu Amam Yergozun Chila. You know, the whole world was in awe of the miracles that Hashem had shown. That from a country that no slave had escaped in hundreds of years, 600,000 people walked out in broad daylight. You know, the tremendous victory. And Amalek came along knowing that he was going to pay a very big price, and it was worth it. The chutzpah was so great to want to make it easier for the next person to attack Klal Yisrael, that he was willing to get burned, beaten to make it happen. So the Torah says that when Moshe Rabbeinu was engaging Amalek, it says he told Yehoshua, Vayomer Moshe al Yeshua, B'char lecha anoshim, pick your people, choose people, v'tzei hilochem b'Amalek. Go out and do battle against Amalek. So the first question is that that's not the Jewish way. We're told that by other nations, the leader is hiding in a bunker. We see this till today. The great leaders, the outspoken spokesman of the Hezbollah and this one, where are they? Hiding. What? They're hiding for. What are you hiding? That's how you show your leadership, by hiding out, and you send the other guys on suicide missions and everything. Whereas lahavdil, by the Jewish people, the battle cry was always Acharai. David HaMelech said, follow me, always in front, leading, because of the great respect for Hashem, and not afraid, if Hashem is with us, not afraid of anything or anybody. So how is Moshe Rabbeinu telling Yehoshua, you go out and do the battle against Amalek? So the Zohar Kodesh answers that whenever there's a battle on earth between nations and nations, it means there's also a battle going on at the same time in Shamayim, by their representatives, the Malachim. Each nation has a Malach representing it in the United Nations over there. And if there's a conflict down here, it means there's a conflict going on over there. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to Yehoshua, you're going to handle the physical battle against Amalek. I'm going up on the mountain because there's also a major battle to be done over there. He's going to do the spiritual battle, Lamala. And he took with him Aaron and Hur. And the Torah says that Vayhi Yadav Emunah, Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were outstretched in Emunah, and Rabbeinu Zal brings this pasuk many times, that the Targum on that pasuk is Prison Bitzloi. His hands were outstretched in Tefillah. And this is one of the most important sources where Rabbeinu Zal shows that Emunah is Tefillah. The many Jews who say they believe, but they don't daven, they're fooling themselves. They don't know that the way that you express your emunah is not in the heart. Cardiac Jews. We have Rav Rosenfeld used to say that there's a room in Galilea for hearts, where they put all of these hearts. The Jews who said that they had Hashem in their heart, but they didn't practice. They weren't Shomer Shah. They didn't do. When they knew, people who don't know, we're very sorry for them. There's a concept of Tinoik Shenishba, a person who grew up, they didn't know, they weren't raised with Yiddishkeit. We don't blame them, but people who know and choose to say no, the practical aspects of Yiddishkeit, they're not interested. They want to live a simple life. They don't want to be bothered by all the physical displays of Yiddishkeit. It's good enough that I have Hashem in their hearts. They said there's a room, but they take these hearts, they put them in this special room, Gan Eden, and the rest they discard. They throw chas v'sham. But here the pasuk says that his hands were outstretched in Emunah, and the Targum says tefillah, that through a person's tefillah, we express our faith in Hashem. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Oidia emunascha befi. with my mouth I express my emun in Hashem. And that's number one, speaking, and number two, we know that tefillah, the Gemara says, that tefillah is not only mouth. The most important part of tefillah is ula avdoi b'chol levavchem, to put your heart into it. The pasuk says that bisfas of kibduni v'liboy rochak mimeni. That Hashem says, unfortunately, there are people. Okay, here we finally have thousands and thousands of Yidden who Baruch Hashem are from, and they're davening. They got into the habit. They know that the Shachris Minchmarat, and they come to shul and they have to say the words. So my father, Rav Rosenfeld, always used to say that the Rambam says we have to say thank you to our head for remembering to bow at Moedim. That when a person's involved in Shmon Esrei, they put the car in cruise control, autopilot. The brain is elsewhere. The lips are used to saying the words, and when it comes to Moedim, the head knows to go down and up. By itself, it's automatic. Chas v'sham. Without really concentrating, putting my heart into it. When we know that the ikr, the main thing in tefillah is the heart. The kavana is called kavanas halev. How much heart you're putting into it. You hear, I had such a pleasure. Since I left Eretz Yisrael, I heard a mincha now. I heard a Breslov Shmon Esrei. You hear people, you hear Chazor Sashatz and Shul, you hear the Chazan rattling off the words. He's saying the words, but somehow, you don't want to judge anybody, but it's hard for me to feel the heart in it. And Breslovers who have been raised hearing that nusach hatfila, where there's a knetch over here, where to put your heart is being put into the words. So here it says that Moshe Rabbeinu went up, Vayhi Yodav Emunah, he was mispalel. And he was mispalel not 30 seconds. He was mispalel for a long time, to the extent that he needed support for his hands. He needed them to be able to hold up his hands. So the Medrash says, on this happening, it says, Hine matoiv umanoim sheves achim gam yachad. How good and sweet it is when brothers live together. And the Medrash says that Achim is Rosh Tevois Aharon Chur Yehoshua Moshe. That it was